Good morning, Monday morning motivation with Chris Cooking Nashville and the beautiful Ash Taylor over here.
Oh, aren't you so sweet?
I don't know if I'm sweet. I'm just here.
Very sweet. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
If y'all can see us and hear us, please just comment down below. Let us know where you're watching from and what you're doing this Monday morning. Chris and I are drinking all the coffee right now. We're in need of some caffeine.
In case the title of this video doesn't tell you, we're a little tired and we're using caffeine to try to get ourselves there.
Exactly. But yeah, we're happy to be here though this morning. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Let's see here. Make sure this is pulled up on my phone.
Yeah.
Read the comments. I see 22 QCats here.
Yep, there's Lynn. Good morning, Chris, Ash, and all. And hello to you, Lynn. We're glad you're here.
Hello, Lynn. Oh, there we are. I see we're live.
All right.
Sweet. Well, what we talking about today?
We are talking about exhaustion. I'm kind of being facetious and funny about that, but at the same time, we are actually talking about the concept of being exhausted,
right?
And recovering from being exhausted. And the reason that we are talking about that is because Ash and I are exhausted. We're tired. And that's all right. It's all right that we're tired. Very, very busy and lots of things going on over the last few days, but all good things. It's a lot to keep up with road life. When you are touring and you're doing all this kind of stuff, it's a lot. I mean, there's a reason that, bands that do this kind of stuff, like this is the only thing they do, like great big famous artists and stuff. There's a reason that one, they have somebody else that drives and two, there is a reason that they do a tour and then they go take a few months off and recover. Mm-hmm. That's an important thing that you have to do as a musician. Unfortunately, you just can't play 300 dates a year and just do it, consistently and then be in the studio and then right back on the road on tour. And I mean, like, there's times they have to take breaks because you have to recover. And we're not doing nearly anything that crazy, at least not yet. But we are very, very tired from being on the road, which is okay. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of part of it. And we had a great time, and it was a great trip to Indiana up to Sweetwater. We can talk a little bit about it, but we're tired. And, it's tough when you're sleeping in a hotel room with a bed that's not real comfortable. And, we try to eat the best we can, but sometimes on the road it can be a little tough. There's, seed oils or hidden carbs or all different kinds of things that can sneak into, what it is you're having and stuff. And you kind of know that going into it. You just prepare yourself for it. Mm-hmm. And we just do the best we can with it, and we just make it roll and we make it happen. But then afterwards, which is what we're talking about today, we have to recover from everything that we've been through. And I think that it's a really interesting point. Ash and I were talking about how by doing keto and carnivore and improving our health and all the things that we have been doing, mm-hmm. we are so much more capable, one, of having the energy to do all of that, because that's a lot to just keep up with. And I don't think I would have ever been able to do this the way that we do now had I not changed the way that I was eating. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot to just be able to keep up with, but also it's not just keeping up with it. It's also then recovering from the busy schedule and the lack of sleep and all those kinds of things after the fact. We recover much, much faster than we used to. And so, for you guys that are doing keto and carnivore stuff, I think something you are going to notice is, yes, you get exhausted. Yes, you get stressed. Yes, you get all the same things that we all go through. Mm-hmm. But one, you're more resilient to it mm-hmm. because of the diet. And two, you are able to recover from that much faster and much more completely. I think mm-hmm. I remember, and you could chime in on how you remember this being with either me or with you, but I remember myself, I used to be so stressed and so tired and so exhausted by even the simplest of things. I was not resilient to any of the kinds of things we were trying to do as a musician. But then more importantly, when I would try to rest and recover from that, I mean, it would be 2 weeks and I would still feel like I had never caught up.
Yeah.
And I would still feel like I was just struggling and I was in pain and I couldn't sleep right and just all these different things. And it's like it took me so long to try to figure out just how to get over whatever the stress was I was going through. And I don't feel that anymore. Like we were super tired. We got back to Nashville last night and we basically brought everything in and we were like, we're done. We're going to go lay down in bed. And I slept really well last night.
Yeah.
And I don't feel 100% today, but I feel a lot better today after all of the exhaustion and just one really good night's sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% back, but I'm a significant portion of the way back and a couple more nights and I'm going to be back.
Yeah.
So.
Totally agree. I think like if we can just share like a little behind the scenes of stuff. And I think you guys can totally take what we're talking about and apply this into your own life. And if we're talking about, stuff like this, please like share in the comments, like what it is. But I think, in no way are we complaining, but I think people sometimes just maybe don't understand, when we say like we're a YouTuber or an independent artist, how hard we work. I think a lot of people think that we live a rock star life and we sleep until noon and Chris and I, we laugh and we joke and, we love what we do. And so we don't mind putting in the work and working hard, just like I'm sure you guys in your own lives, whether it be your job or with your family or what you're doing, you love to, go put your full heart into it. Like, my Nana always said, you never do anything halfway, half butt. You always use your full butt. That's what she said. But that's true. You never do anything half. You always, give it your all. But just so you guys kind of understand, like, there was a time in my life when I would literally throw a guitar in the back of a car and go drive across the country. And I would play all of these shows, before I met Chris. And I was sick like all the time. And all I did was eat fast food and I would drink alcohol and I just couldn't do it. Like I physically, my body could not do it. And it caused so many health problems to where I started to gain a bunch of weight. I was constantly getting like sinus infections, upper respiratory infections. Like being a singer, you can't have that. Then I remember when I was at like the worst it ever got for me, when I was literally just killing myself. Like I never took days off. I never took breaks. I never did any of that stuff. Like I am not a lazy person. Like I'm a workaholic, truthfully, honestly. I am a workaholic.
We both can be.
It's easy to get into, but I remember at the worst time, like, and it was also, I would say at the time, like the height of my success.
Yeah.
I had my first major label cut. And so a guy like recorded a song and I walked into Walmart and I was able to buy the CD with a song I had written like off of the shelf. I had to wobble in there though, because I had pushed my body to a point where literally I had a blood clot in my leg at 27 years old, because I literally had worn my body out. Yeah. So luckily, it wasn't maybe a year or two later, we found keto and we found carnivore. Yeah. And clearly we've had a couple of years for our bodies to heal and recover. And we understand like, what we did wrong. And so like, I stopped drinking alcohol. We've lost between us 230 plus pounds.
Yeah, about 230 pounds total.
Chris at one point wouldn't even get up off the couch to go walk the dog around the block, and now
so much pain.
So much pain. So I think this is why when we talk about keto and carnivore, it's like, this is why we are so passionate about it, because that's how we used to be. Yeah. And then now you fast forward to today and it's like this weekend we kicked off my first headlining tour, which is really exciting. But like, just so you guys understand, we worked 2.5 weeks before we went on tour of like 14 to 16 hour days every single day to get all the YouTube stuff done, to get all the stuff ready. Right. We then got in the car, we drive, 8+ hours up to the city. You get checked into a hotel. You go to bed at 1 a.m.
You don't sleep well.
No. But we prepared that. We set ourselves up to succeed. We brought beef jerky. Chris made, I can't say too much, but he made a yummy carnivore snack, which is coming soon. Yep. We had our salty, saved my life. Yes. And we were able though to go kick off tour and have a great time. But like when we got there to Sweetwater, what we were doing, it's like we literally ran from the moment that we woke up until, most nights it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. We had so many events and so many things that we were doing. Yeah. It was insane. Yeah. But because of our diets and the changes that we were able to make, we were actually able to, for the most part, pretty much keep up. And that's what Chris is saying, is like, if I compare what we're able to do physically today to where we were a couple years ago, no way a couple years ago with my health could I have done this. And I think something too that you maybe don't even think about, like with keto and carnivore, is when you're a musician, when you're a singer, it's like, well, your body is the instrument. And I know for me, I think I sang and talked all day, every day for like 2 or 3 days in a row. And I mean, you're performing and playing shows, you're in the studio recording, you're teaching classes, you're meeting people. I mean, like, it was non-stop.
In between all the performances and the studio and the class and all that other kind of stuff, you are talking to people constantly.
Yes.
I mean, like we met 500 people,
if that
we
not
talked
more.
to,
yeah,
probably.
I mean, it was crazy. But I say this to say, you know, like, this is why I think, though, you have to, like, honestly, I literally, through my fatigue and all this morning, though, I'm like, man, that to me is proof that the keto and carnivore diet really works, because I literally was able to sing my butt off for 2 days in a row. Today, I'm able to sit here and talk to you, and I still have a voice. I have a show Wednesday I can go play. Before, a couple years ago, when I was eating fast food and drinking alcohol every day, I could not have done that. And so I think it just shows, like, how cool that is. And maybe there's things like in, you know, your guys' life, like even working out, you know, having the energy just to walk around the block, or, you know, something simple. So even if you're not doing like what we're doing, I mean, I think that is just the most encouraging and motivating thing, because I'm like, man, this weekend I may be really tired, and I understand my body needs to rest and rejuvenate, and I need to do things. But I'm like, man, this is why I eat a low carb lifestyle. This is why I'm on a proper human diet, because it enables me to be the best version I can be, to not be grumpy at people, to not snap at people in high stress pressure situations. I'm more in control of my emotions. My hormones are more calm. So, you know, I'm not snapping at somebody. It's like, you're able to show up, you're able to do your job. Even if you're exhausted and haven't slept, your body can still perform and function. And now we come back home and we rest for a few days. And I think rest is also so underrated. You know, getting sleep, drinking lots of, you know, water, especially with electrolytes, eating high protein. I mean, it just really changed, I guess, the game for us. And I think that's why we were so sold on this lifestyle, because it's just life-changing.
I agree. And, you know, I've got my link in the description for you guys for Keto Chow. You can go there and check out their salty electrolytes. That makes a huge difference for us on the road.
You don't even know.
To take those packets, those electrolyte packets with us. And I mean, they have the unflavored ones. So if you're not interested in any of the flavors, or if you want the different flavors, I think all of their flavors are amazing. We basically went to Walmart when we got there, and we bought a case of bottled water, and we kept it in the hotel room. And we were chugging our electrolytes. And, you know, it's like, that keeps you hydrated, it keeps your muscles moving, which, you know, if you think about it, your vocal cords, that's a muscle. That's a tissue in your body. And if it's not hydrated properly, and you're getting cramps and, you know, inflammation in all of the other muscles, guess what? You're going to have that in the vocal cords too. And it makes it hard to sing. It makes it hard to talk.
Especially if you have a job like where you're on your feet a bunch. Like we were walking, I mean, like hauling gear and walking and lifting heavy stuff on the weekend. But it was like, I noticed that, like, I could literally tell when I was like, I need another salty packet. And it's like, because my muscles would start to hurt and cramp and like stuff.
Well, and for those of you who may not know what Sweetwater is, because we were up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we were working with Sweetwater Sound. And Sweetwater is the largest online music retailer in the world. And probably even brick and mortar store is probably the largest.
It was insane.
In the world. So they have an entire campus. They have a building which is bigger than any super Walmart I've ever been in. And they have their whole music store that's a part of that. They also have several studios. They have a gigantic cafe, and they employ people that cook all the food from scratch. And there's like a bakery and, you know, like like full service kitchen for all this stuff. They have a complete second and third level, which are filled with sales associates and reps and like all these different things. They have a clinic with a doctor and nurse for musicians and employees and anybody that is there on staff every day. They have a spa for musicians and employees to come get their hair cut, to get a massage, to get like esthetician services. Like, they have all of this stuff that they have built for the music community. So this place is huge. So we're walking around carrying guitars, meeting all of these people, doing all of this work with them. They have multiple performance venues built in here. And then across the parking lot, which is like the size of several football fields, they have an entire warehouse where they have more performance venues and all of these employees. I mean, I think they employ something like 4,000 to 6,000 people there between all the different things they do. So this place is huge. And we're carrying gear and we're meeting people and we're shaking hands and we're talking and we're doing all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's an absolutely crazy experience. And it's, as a musician, I mean, you're talking about content, like social media content and, videos, and we filmed and we recorded and we did all this kind of stuff while we are there. So it's like, you got to get up early in the morning. You got to get yourself together, get showered, get dressed. You got to look the part of a musician. My lovely wife over here, because she's a female and I'm so sorry, but it requires makeup and all that kind of stuff to be filmed. Guys, we're very fortunate. A lot of times we don't have to go through that whole process to be on film, but, she's doing all that. So we get up in the morning and we chug our electrolytes and we grab some protein, bacon or sausage patties or whatever from the continental breakfast at the hotel on the way out the door with all of our gear. And we head to Sweetwater and we carry all of our gear in and we get all set up. And it's like, you spend the whole day and you're meeting people and you're talking and, touring different things. We had a private tour and all of this crazy stuff. And then, you have to be ready to perform because we had the master class, which was 2 hours long and we stayed there late and we were answering questions. And, the next day we had the live at lunch performance, which was an hour-long set that we were playing. And then you had the studio time. And, that's like they book that out in 4 hour sessions, I guess it is. They book that out in, and, you're in there and you're performing and you're under lights and you're on camera and
you're sweating
and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like, you're carrying all of your gear and doing all this stuff and you're talking and you're singing and you're interacting and you've got to remember people's names. And it was like 2.5 days of basically get up early in the morning, run constantly the entire day, try to pass out at night, but don't sleep well because the bed is uncomfortable. Get up the next morning, early morning, run the entire day, try to pass out and don't sleep well because the bed's not comfortable. Get up the next morning, check out of the hotel, run the entire day. It's like, and it's like, and we drove up there and then we had to drive back. And so you put all of that together on top of everything we did before we left, because being away from home, it's like, I don't have my setup here to be able to record and do videos and all that. So we had to get all that done ahead of time and schedule it all out. So there's just a lot that goes into doing these kinds of things. And there's no way that we would be able to do all of this without all of the benefits of keto and carnivore that we have. And again, major shout out to Keto, Chow, and Salty for their electrolytes, because that really helps. I can tell when we start getting dehydrated, I can tell my muscles are getting stiff. I can tell I'm getting tired and I'm getting weak and all that kind of stuff. So we start cranking those electrolytes. So my link is down below if you guys want to check out some Keto Chow or some of their salty electrolytes, either one. You can click on that link and that'll take you to the page and there's a discount code there for you. So
I also think
huge difference.
It makes a huge difference. It really, really does. And whether you're just sitting at home, you're working out, you're running errands, I've started bringing Salty with me literally everywhere because it literally saves my butt, in all these circumstances.
We have the packets. We also have the capsules. The capsules.
Yeah.
So that it's if we don't have the ability to crank down another bottle of water on top of it, I can take a handful of those capsules and just super boost the electrolytes if I need to.
I actually brought the for myself, because when I'm talking so much, it can be hard for me to actually drink enough liquid because it's just, constant talking and not enough shutting up to drink something.
Your throat, and your throat gets dry, but your stomach is already full of liquid and you're like, I can't drink anymore.
So I actually, I don't take them usually if we're here at the house, because then it's a little easier for me clearly to drink more. But, or if you're someone that wants the benefits of electrolytes, but you struggle sometimes to drink a lot of water, the capsules I think are wonderful. I bring them when we go do things like this, and I'll actually, just to make sure that I get enough, we'll take capsules in the morning and then try to drink, Salty throughout the day. But the benefits of electrolytes is a huge thing. I also think just the knowledge and power of knowing starting your day off with protein. So we had a continental breakfast and people were offering to bring us food, and clearly they're all standard American diet.
Yeah.
A lot of people at
they're
Sweetwater
wanting to bring us quesadillas and sandwiches and
or
potato chips.
They're either like standard American diet or you know, a lot of them actually were like plant-based.
Yeah,
like
plant-based,
they offered
vegetarian, vegan type stuff.
I got offered by one of the artist reps like a plant-based ice cream, which they thought was really healthy. I'm like, oh, okay, you don't watch our YouTube channel, do you? Yeah. But no, but like, so, you know, but the knowledge and power of understanding, like, okay, start out with protein, drink your electrolytes.
Yeah.
You know, try to do the best you can. Like we would go to like steakhouses, things like that.
Shout out the Longhorn Steakhouse for a fantastic ribeye.
Yeah. But that was the thing that, like, you know, so we kind of did though, like more, you know, I would say probably more like keto and that thing. But I knew it was like, okay, so before we go into all this, it's like, let's just try to eat the best we can.
Right.
Because but like, that's the thing is like, you know, we would do like breakfast in the morning. And even if we had sausage and eggs, I don't know how those eggs were cooked. I don't know what the sausage, did they probably have seed oils? Like,
right.
You know, so
might be fillers in that. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. But I think the point is like, I think all you can, you know, we always say in our house, you do what you can because you can't do it all.
Yep.
And that's that was the attitude, is like, we're just going to eat the best that we can and just kind of do our thing.
Yep.
And, you know, it's like,
make it work.
Yeah. Make it work. And now that we're back home, we will get, you know, back to doing our thing even more so. But yeah, I just think it's so important to give your body a chance to like rest and rejuvenate. And just while you're doing that, just set yourself up to succeed.
I also think one of the things that works really well for us, and I'm not saying that this would or wouldn't work for anyone else, you have to decide and, you know, experiment and figure out what works best for you guys. But something that works really well for us is if we go out like that, and if maybe we get some seed oils and we get some fillers in a sausage patty or whatever, and we eat more keto and that kind of stuff, we do the best we can, right? And then we come back and then we try to be real strict while we're here and let that inflammation flush out of our body.
Yeah.
Because we know on the next leg of the tour, we may have a few meals that aren't quite what we want them to be. And so we just, you know, we do the best we can, but it's also like, you know, for me personally, I am much better on carnivore than I am keto, but I do have enough flexibility that when I need to do keto stuff, I kind of know I'm not going to feel 100%, but I still feel pretty good. And I know there's certain things I really avoid. Like I do not eat broccoli.
Yeah.
I never eat broccoli. Does not matter how good it looks. Does not matter what it is. Like I would rather have a salad that has dressing on it that may have some sugar or may have some seed oils before I'm going to have the broccoli, because the broccoli makes me something up here go on, and that's I know that for me. So broccoli, cabbage, kale, Brussels sprouts, all the brassica family stuff does not work for me. Now I can eat a salad and it may mess with my stomach just a little bit because of the fiber and the things that I don't have regularly, but it doesn't really bother me mentally, and I can handle a little bit of the you know, I just kind of don't feel totally myself, and you know, maybe I've got a little bit of stomach upset, you know, first thing in the morning. What I can handle that on the road as necessary. I just know to plan for it. What I can't handle is I have severe brain fog. I'm irritable. I'm driving everyone nuts. I'm driving myself nuts because I had a veggie that causes something up here. And so I've done the experimentation to know what I can have and what I can't. And so I avoid the things that I know cause a major issue. The things that I'm a little more flexible with, I don't worry about as much. I just do the best I can. And then when we come home, I go back being super, super strict.
Yeah.
And not even super strict, but I just go like a lot cleaner and I'm really careful, and that extra inflammation comes off, and I'm okay. And I'm good. And you know, our bodies are designed to have a little bit of biodiversity as a survival mechanism.
Sure.
And although it may not be ideal to do it all the time, if there's a rare occasion where you need those kinds of things to just handle them, your body is designed to be able to, even if it's not ideal, you can handle it. So I think it's just knowing where you are and what works for you and how you can do the things you need to do, and then what you do afterwards to recover and get back to feeling full energy and feeling better and all that kind of stuff. And so it's, you know, we're not really like officially doing anything in particular, no challenges or any of that kind of stuff. But we're kind of leaning in the direction of almost like BBBE while we're at home right now. Like we're testing out and being like really, really strict as we can, because then when we go out on tour, we know that we might not have as much flexibility in just choosing everything we want every day.
Yeah. And, I think too, like if I can add on to that, I think it was maybe a week or two ago here on the Monday morning, morning devotional lives that we do every Monday morning. We were talking about like setting yourself up to succeed. And I think that's actually kind of what really we're going back to talking about. Is like before the tour, we had to make sure certain things were done, but we also tried to rest up when we can as much as possible. And then we go do this thing and we walk into it knowing that we're probably not going to sleep very well. And there's going to be situations where it's like, well, what do we do?
Right.
But we also, like Chris made beef jerky to bring on the road. So it's like, we don't need to stop at a gas station. We don't need to be tempted by snacks or drive-thrus or any of the things that we used to eat back in the day.
Right.
So we had, beef jerky. And Chris made other carnivore snacks. Yeah.
Yep. And I brought the AeroPress to make coffee in our hotel room.
So
we didn't go out and, one, spend massive amounts of money on coffee out. But two, we didn't go to a coffee place where they have like only half and half or only some kind of creamer or something that we can't control. Like we stayed away from that. We're also not tempted by all the sugary sweet coffees that we love the way they taste, but that we shouldn't be having. So I made coffee for us in the hotel room so that we could control what goes into our coffee. And we just went out to, when we were at Walmart, and got some other different things we needed. We got some heavy cream. And
kept it in the hotel.
I'm sure there were probably some, carrageenan and different things in that heavy cream, and we try to avoid that. But, when we have to, we just do the best we can. So we got some heavy cream.
Well, I'd rather have heavy cream, even if it has a little bit of that in it, than basically be like, oh, it's okay. And then just go have like a sugary, pure syrup, sugary drink and be like, well,
I'll have a giant caramel frappe, please.
Yeah, frappe. Yeah, exactly. And it's like $7, and it's like, more carbohydrates and sugar than we'd have in like 3 years in one drink. I mean, so it's like, again, just, you're doing the best you can.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think the planning ahead like that, where it's like, cool. So like, where can we have control and where can we do whatever? Like setting yourself, bringing salty with us, drinking the electrolytes, and like literally putting packets like in our pockets. So that way, as we were walking around, we could, put some in and drink, and just stuff like that, where it's like you set yourself up to succeed. And then now that like we're back home and like that's all done, it's like, okay, great. Like we pushed through, we had fun, we did a great job, we did our thing. We have a new appreciation for what the keto and carnivore lifestyle has done for us. Yeah. And now it's like you were saying, it's like not officially, but it's like, I told Chris, I was like, hey, like, let's kind of try like BBBE, because I've never done it before. So we're kind of going to start experimenting with that a little bit.
Yeah. And when we're not doing recipes, we're going to do like a loose BBBE, probably like BBBE and maybe some sauces and spices as we see fit. But, try to cut back on dairy and try to cut back on other things and whatever. And if we're doing recipes and, that kind of stuff, that's fine. I'm still going to do that. But, it just helps us kind of take our strictness of what we're doing and just in a real easy way, pull that down to really help us let go of inflammation. Yeah. And, we'll be really good. Also, ground beef is a great way to save money, and we love beef patties. And that's probably one of the, between that and bacon, and of course, eggs are cheap. Like those three things.
Good stuff.
Like, that's fantastic. So.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah. So it's going to be really good. We'll see who we got going on over here in the comments section. Of course, we said hello to Lynn. Richard Williams is here. Hello, neighbors. Hope all is well.
Hello.
Yes. Hello, neighbor, and all is well. There's Wallflower. I believe that is Donna.
Donna, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Glad you are back safe at home. We are too.
Thank you.
We appreciate all the thoughts and prayers of people hoping for safe travels for us.
Yeah.
Deborah. Hello, Deborah. She says the consistent energy is one of my favorite aspects of eating on plan.
Oh, hands down.
Absolutely. I think too, it's really interesting. I've heard this said this way. You have protein for building your body, and you have fat for satiation and energy. Yeah. So if you're exhausted, have some more fat. Yeah. And give yourself, you'll get more satiation, and you'll also be able to run off of that, which is really interesting, because I was thinking about this as we were super tired. Do you remember that show, Deadliest Catch, on Discovery Channel, that was about all of the crab fishermen that go out and like they're out for like, a month or two or something. It's a very short season that they have out there. And I think the main, like, you can harvest crab thing is like a week or two. And so they literally work like 60 hours straight without sleeping. Wow. And then they get like a 2-hour nap as they switch with someone. and then they got to go back out on that boat. And it's one of the deadliest jobs in the world because it's very, very dangerous. And they have to work so hard because you have a short window in which to catch all these crab. And so they work around the clock. So what they do is when they're swapping in and out, they get like 30 minutes to go eat. Someone comes out and swaps with them, and then they have to go back out. The show, it showed that they would, they have like a cook on board, which is, sometimes it's like whoever the captain of the boat is, it's like a wife or a brother or, usually a family member that doesn't do the crab fishing.
Oh, okay.
But that it goes on board, and their whole thing is they're cooking and cleaning, and like they're just taking care of everything so the guys can all be out on the boat fishing.
Okay.
Well, one of the episodes they were showing what they did, and of course they're eating a bunch of carbs and all this kind of stuff. But when they cook, they add like pounds of butter and lots of bacon and like very fatty foods. And they say on this episode, the lady says, we do that because when you are not sleeping, these guys are going to burn through all of this fat for extra energy. They need that because that's what their body after like 36 hours, their body is like still being awake. Their body is going to start using the food as energy instead of sleep.
Interesting.
And so I've always remembered that and never really put two and two together. But as we were really tired and I was eating like bacon or, like fatty protein in the morning, and I would feel better, I was like, it's like your body, especially once we're fat adapted, you've burnt through all of your carbs. Right. Because that's the first thing your body does. So we get very few carbs, if any. As we've burned through all that, your body switches over to burning that fat. And that's a much more stable, long-lasting form of energy. And that's a good example of even people who are on a standard American diet. I mean, those guys are working so hard.
Yeah.
They've already burnt through all of the crazy carbs, and their body's having to run off all that extra fat they've eaten.
I will say, too, that makes a lot of sense because a couple of times over the past, I'd probably say 6 to 8 months that I can just recall, like when you said that. I don't know if you feel this, but like just this weekend, for example, so the first day, like, I think I slept like 2 hours and I got up and we had a full day. And then the next morning we were doing continental breakfast and I literally was craving bacon.
Yeah.
And then I literally got a couple things of just butter.
Yeah.
And I literally, for some reason, like my body was craving butter.
Yeah.
Like nobody's business. And then when I did carnivore for the 30 days, I would actually go take our puppy Mel like out like on a run around the neighborhood. And so I was trying to run a little bit, nothing too serious, but clearly it's like, I sweat and whatever, and I would feel kind of drained after like I take a shower and like all that.
Have your electrolytes, all that kind of stuff.
And that's when I noticed that, like, and I could time it. It was like I was like, man, for some reason when I'm done with that, all I want is bacon.
Yeah.
And so I would just sit and eat like a bunch of bacon. So that's interesting that your body would basically though start telling you like, hey, I need fat. I need this to like.
Well, and that's the thing. You use the protein to rebuild all of the, the muscle.
Right.
The muscle sort of being broken down, which from you being physically active, use the protein for that. And then you use the fat for the energy. And it's really amazing. And I had never put that two and two together until I heard that. So I thought that was really cool though. And then I was like, I was thinking about that and it popped in my head and I was like, now it makes sense why those guys running for like 40 to 60 hours without sleep at a time and doing this for like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
That's why they're not getting any sleep. So their body has no option. It just has to start using fat. And it's like, you look at these guys like they're not overweight. These guys are
I'm sure they're probably trim,
hard. I also think, this is a really interesting thing. A lot of people ask what we think about fruit on a carnivore diet because you get like Paul Saladino.
Oh, yeah.
That does the whole meat, but then he does fruit with it as well. And I'm not a doctor. So none of this is medical advice. I can't tell you what I think you should or should not do. If fruit works for you, great. If I'm going to have a treat, fruit is probably much better than like candy, just because, not that the sugar is any different one way or the other. It's all sugar. But I don't have the tendency to go to the store and buy fruit and binge on it. Whereas if you put candy in front of me and I was sitting there and just eating it randomly, I probably would. And there's chemicals and other weird things. So, sugar is sugar. It doesn't really matter. I don't think that's a good idea. But if I was going to cheat, it would be with things like, berries or, something fruit-wise like that. Yeah. But one of the things that people talk about Paul Saladino, like, he's in great shape and he eats all this fruit and he has honey. Yes, he also surfs every single day.
for
hours at a time. And I think very much like the guys that you would see on the Deadliest Catch show, when you work that much, like, I'm not saying the sugar is good for you or that the fruit is good for you, but if you're burning all of those carbs off, you're not going to necessarily outwardly see as much of the weight and sort of the outward appearance of health issues, because you're burning through those carbs. And again, our body has to have some ability, even if it's not ideal, it does have to have some ability to at least use that, because of a survival thing. Like you have to at least have some ability to handle that, because if you don't, we would have been extinct a long time ago. Because there are times we didn't have any meat available, so we had to eat what we could. That's why grains are such a thing, because they're a survival food. They can be stored.
Right.
So
I think in society, though, it's like, we're told grains are heart healthy.
Right.
And eat grains. And, you know, I mean, I used to be addicted to like energy drinks.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
Absolutely.
some of them are even marketed as being healthy, and they have vitamins, and you do this. It's honestly a lot of lies.
There's all this terrible information. But I think, when people ask about the whole meat and fruit thing, and, do you consume fruit and honey? We don't really on a regular basis. That's more of like a cheat for us than it is like a, hey, this is part of our proper human diet. If you do and it works for you, that's fine. Yeah. It's you do you. But I think that it's a really good example of like the guys on Deadliest Catch can eat all of those carbohydrate foods and then start running off all that extra fat as energy, because they've burnt through all those carbs and their body essentially goes into ketosis. I'm sure. Because they're just working so hard to burn through all those carbs. And it's not that it's good for them. It's just their body is handling it better because they're using so much extra energy.
Right.
I think Paul Saladino is another example of that. Like, I'm not saying the fruit is good for you. Me personally, I would think all that fruit and honey on a daily basis is probably not the best idea. But that's just my own belief about it. If it works for you, again, great. I don't personally do it because I feel like that would be a real problem. I'm also not surfing for like 6 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
I don't do all of that. And if I was doing all of that, maybe that would make me feel good. I don't know. It's not something I'm really leaning into. But, when you can do all of that extra physical activity, I think you can get away with more like that. I think it's also the reason that kids can get away with higher carbs usually, and they can eat more fruit, and they can handle dairy better and all this kind of stuff than a lot of adults seem to, because their bodies are still growing and they're like burning through that stuff crazy. I mean, look how much energy kids have.
Oh yeah.
Constant activity, right? Yeah. So there's just something that I think is kind of interesting to think about. So
for sure. I also think too, like, if you're on a standard American diet, like I know some people can get very like, just, meat and nothing else, meat, salt, water, or whatever. But it's like, if you're coming from like a standard American diet and you eat Snickers bars and ding dongs and fast food, and you're doing all this stuff, it's like, if you eat fruit, like whole foods.
That's a great step.
Yeah, I would rather someone not eat ice cream and a Snickers bar and go have strawberries every night if they needed to, because you're still taking your carb count from here to lower. Yeah. And then you just work on yourself and like, you keep
work
improving.
It down from there.
Work it down from there. But it's like, people are on different steps in their journeys. Our bodies work differently, but if it works for you,
absolutely.
You do you. You do you.
Absolutely. Lynn says keto, carnivore, low carb for the win. Woo-woo! Yes, absolutely.
Oh, seriously. We've just seen such a difference. It's
absolutely
incredible.
Addicted to Antlers is here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, friend.
And there's Jujubee. Oh. Hey, all.
Hello.
Very cool. Well, guys, if you have questions, drop them into the comments. Yeah. Also, I'm looking at the numbers on the screen. We have 14 people watching, but we only have 9 thumbs ups.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. So one of the best things you guys can do is you can go hit that thumbs up button below the video, like the video, comment, share the video, please. Let YouTube know this is important. Best of all of that is free and it's low carb.
Yeah.
So there we go.
You gotta love that.
Jen is here, says joining late, trying to catch up 1.5 times speed, but happy to see your faces. Hi, Jen. We're really glad that you're
glad
here.
You're here.
So
yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Talking about like rest and relaxation and like, all that kind of stuff, like some things that I think have kind of helped you and I, or just some points as we're sitting here hanging out with our friends this Monday morning. But Chris and I recently were working with some folks in the space, and I got encouraged to start taking Epsom salt baths.
Yeah.
And I don't know, comment below, tell us if you guys, take these from time to time.
Have you ever tried an Epsom salt bath?
But man, I'll tell you what, if you're feeling like you really need to take a break and relax, and if you're feeling sore and stiff, I have started to take those a couple times a week. And let me tell you, what a great way to kind of just relax your body, get rid of tension in your muscles, help with aches and pains. It detoxes you, helps you sleep better. I think, like, if you're looking for tips and tricks on how to relax and you don't take Epsom salts, at least, a week, once a week or whatever, man, that has really helped me recently to relax. I mean, it really has. I, for years, have heard of people taking them, but I kind of was a little skeptical.
Sure.
To be honest,
we never believe anything straight up front.
We don't. But yeah, I was really against it. And honestly, like, I've started to take them, and I've noticed, like, I'm sleeping better. I'm having more energy. I'm noticing that, like, it also helps with inflammation, muscle aches, all this stuff. I've also noticed that the first, I would say, week or two of me taking them pretty consistently, I actually had things like a bunch of like zits and pimples break out on my face. So, which tells me it's like, they talk about detoxing. And I mean, like, I really felt like I was running off water. I was detoxing. So if you're looking for ways to kind of rest and recharge, light a candle, take an Epsom salt bath. It's amazing. Drink your electrolytes. I also think, like, Chris and I talk pretty openly about faith in some ways. And if you don't share our, same faith or beliefs, that's totally okay. You're still more than welcome here. But I think there's something really to be said that when God created the world, he made a day of rest for himself.
Yes.
He rested on the seventh day. And I think if you look at successful businesses like Chick-fil-A, they're only open 6 days a week. And so I think it's great to work hard and to put yourself into what you're doing. But this is why I think rest is so important, because you need to recharge. You need to reset your mind. You need to reset your body. And I think that is just, that's just being kind to yourself. And it's like, I also know that, like, for me, when my body is clearly short on sleep and, it feels kind of stressed out and everything, that's why I do things like Epsom salt bath and all these different things and go right back to eating how I should, because then my body and my cortisol levels, basically my cortisol raises and my body just holds on to things. So then it kind of stalls my weight loss, because I'm not resting enough to essentially get that going. So Chris and I were talking about it, and, we play a show Wednesday night here in Nashville. And, next week we're going to, like, Knoxville in North Carolina, and we continue the tour. And so we're going to be, again, super busy, which is fine. But over the next couple of days, we're talking about, we're going to take it easy. We're going to have beef patties. We're going to have, eggs. We're going to do our thing. Cooking will be very simple, with the exception of filming Saturday's recipe video, which you guys are going to want to watch, because this has been a long time coming. So but no, I just think the importance of rest, actually, I don't think we think about it from maybe like a weight loss standpoint, or things that can actually help heal your body and actually get you to feel your, to feel your best. And so I think also it's really important to schedule a day of rest. So we were actually saying probably on Thursday this week, because, we have live streams and we have a bunch of stuff going on over the next couple of days. We're talking about on Thursday actually scheduling our day of rest, and intentionally taking a day off, where it's like we may not do anything that day. Maybe we'll go out and do something fun that we enjoy or whatever, but it's like intentionally scheduling the time to actually take a break, so that way we can recharge and then show up to do the things we need to, and just have that energy and have our bodies be able to heal and recover and to, be our best. Because I think whether you're going to work, being a mother, being a father, a brother, whatever, whether you're trying to be a good spouse, whether you're trying to, be good at your job, whatever it is, we want to give 100%. When we film YouTube videos, when we play shows, when we do whatever, we're trying to do the best we can. And I think you guys totally are the same. So don't be afraid to go take a nap, though. Take a break. And absolutely. Let your body heal. It's a good thing. Absolutely. Jujubee says 100% team Epsom. So I have not yet embraced the Epsom salt baths, not really because I'm against it. I just haven't really had time, it doesn't seem. No. So I'm fully into the idea that I'm going to try.
and give it a shot just to see how I feel, because I would love for some of that like relaxation in my muscles feeling. I'd love for some of that.
Maybe you could start that tonight.
I will. I tell you what. I will commit. I'm going to start that tonight. I'm gonna try it tonight, and next week on Monday Morning with Motivation, I'm going to let you guys know after doing it. I'm going to try to do it several times this week. Yeah. And next week I'll tell you guys what I thought.
I'm excited about that. I think too. Being a girl, like I think girls really are open probably more to baths and like bubble baths and stuff like that. Yeah. But I got to thinking about it because I used to love bubble baths, and it's like all the chemicals though that are in like the the stuff that like you pour in the water and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's like I never thought about that until we started doing keto and carnivore. And then you're literally pouring chemicals into that water, and you're sitting there, and it's like, it smells pretty.
And not only are you pouring water or chemicals into your water, but you're sitting in hot water, which means your skin is soaking that in, and your pores open up, which actually makes you more absorbent to chemicals. Right. So, I mean, you absorb it even worse. Right. So,
well, and, like if you love taking bubble baths, I'm sure you probably pay a good amount of money for the bubble bath, mixture that you pour in the water. Sure. I know I did, but it's like, and then some of them even brand it as being super healthy, and some of them will put things like lavender or different things in. But the thing about Epsom salt is like I think it's like a 5-pound bag, and I think I paid like $3 for it. Yeah. I mean, it's super inexpensive, super cheap. And like I said, I've only been doing it a few weeks and massively noticed the difference. Sure. I think guys, though, sometimes maybe you're not, into bubble baths and different things like that. So I'm proud of you. Yeah. I think you should do it. I think it's a great experiment.
Well, we'll certainly see. I'll let you guys know what I think. So. Yeah. Addicted to Antlers says rest is definitely important. It absolutely is. And I would love for you guys to tell us, put in the comments, what are your favorite things to do to rest? I mean, yes, rest can be sleeping and taking a nap. That's great. But there's a lot of different kinds of rest. Yeah. So what do you guys like to do to rest? So
what are your top 3 things you like to do to rest?
So I really enjoy, I haven't gotten to do this for a long time, but hopefully as we get things under control and as we find more opportunity for this, I would love to. I like sitting with a guitar and just noodling, like not practicing, not playing specific things, not whatever, just having it in my hands and just playing. I really enjoy that. I actually really enjoy cooking, not for recipe development, not for trying to do something specific with it, not filming a video, but I mean, just like we have friends over and we're just hanging out and I'm just cooking. Yeah. Just for fun. I actually find that very restful when I'm doing it in a particular way. So I really enjoy that. To be honest, one of the other things I really enjoy doing is whether it's just us sitting in bed or, sitting in the living room or any of that kind of stuff, turning on like YouTube. Yeah. Or The Chosen is one of our favorite shows, or other kinds of, different shows, just sitting there and just vegetating out a little bit and watching TV. I don't promote watching TV as like, you should be doing this for hours a day, every day kind of thing, because it will suck the life out of you and it will steal your time, which you cannot get more of and is a very valuable asset. So I think watching too much things like that, it becomes very obsessive and addictive, and it can really suck all of your productivity out of your life, and it can really ruin things. But on a small scale, using it here and there as like hey, we're going to take an evening, we're going to take a few hours before bed, and we're just going to watch some TV and just kick back, and we're not going to work. Yeah. I think that's a really good thing. Those are my top 3, I would say. What about you?
I would say too, I love watching like movies and like TV shows, like, at night before bed or something. I'm a big fan of getting up early and getting everything done that I need to, and, accomplishing a lot of things. But then at night, it's like, I like to have dinner with you and just go watch a movie and kind of cuddle with my dog and just enjoy that. I would say too, something big for me is, if I'm like working really, really hard, especially like sitting at a computer, is something I feel like Chris and I do a lot just because of what we do for a living. I actually love to go take Mel out on a walk, either just around the neighborhood, or like we live really close to the lake and we have a lot of really cool walking trails and stuff. I love to just go. Yeah. Like I literally can just go put on a podcast or music, like in my headphones, or sometimes nothing at all. Yep. Like just don't listen to anything, and I'll just go take the dog for a walk outside, get in the sunshine. Yeah. Being outdoors like really, really, really relaxes me in that way. And I, honestly, I think having coffee with my husband in the morning.
Yes. That's another good one.
Yeah. I wake up every morning and I read my Bible and have prayer time. And then Chris comes and he makes us coffee and we literally just sit and we talk about like what we're going to be doing the day and what's going on. And I think that's probably like my favorite time of the day.
Yeah.
And it's just very soothing and very relaxing.
Johnny Cash was quoted as saying that his idea of heaven was sitting on his front porch having coffee with June.
Yeah. It's like a very simple part of the morning, and it never, it's not like we're there for hours and hours or anything, but it's like, it's just kind of nice to wake up and just kind of start your day with like some encouragement, like pray, read your Bible, watch a YouTube video. I mean, whatever it is. And it's like, you just start with a little encouragement and you just start with getting your head on, and then you get to have coffee with your spouse. And we talk about even like the work we're going to do today, or we talk about things that are on our mind, and then then go walk, work hard and go do what we can. I mean, that's awesome.
I agree.
So those are my top 3.
Jujubee says Amazon is holding my 18-pound order hostage right now. Delivery attempt number 3 today.
Oh no.
Well, hopefully that'll get there for you.
Yeah.
She also says first day of school here. Today I'm sitting around doing absolutely 100% nothing until my eye appointment at 2:30. Well,
nothing wrong with that.
That is fantastic, and especially when you got kids in the house when they first go back to school and you get that first day where they're gone, you deserve that.
That's
break.
right. You
so
put your feet up.
Put your feet up and hope your eye appointment also goes well. She also says life is always better by the water. Yes.
Oh, I agree. That's actually one of the, when Chris and I, if you know our story, we kind of lost everything in 2020 and including the home we were living in. We went to a very small apartment and, we've had to rebuild literally pretty much everything in our life over the course of the past couple of years. And, as crazy as it sounds, I think that was a huge blessing for many reasons.
Yes.
But when we were looking to move out of our apartment and kind of move to a house or, a space where we would feel comfortable and that we actually wanted to live in, we did a lot of talking about it. We did a lot of research, and we intentionally moved out here by the lake because, we were like, that's where we enjoy being. And when we do have time, we also love to go fishing.
Yeah.
And just, our dog loves to swim in the lake. It's like it is her favorite thing. She will swim for hours and hours and
she'll swim till she can't walk.
Yeah. I mean, she's
loves it.
into it. So, but that for us was a very intentional thing of I think we would feel more relaxed and more successful and more just happy, in our space and environment if we lived by water. So hands down, agree.
Absolutely. Another thing, and this is something where you guys are going to hear us probably talk about in several videos. Another thing that is important for me for rest and recovery and just taking care of my health is I'm going to have to start backing away from answering every single comment on my main channel.
Yes.
We were talking about this, and we're going to be mentioning this in some different videos. Being on tour has really put in the forefront of everything that I am observing with the channel, that I am just not going to be able to keep up anymore with answering every single comment. And for a long time, I have done that. I have answered personally every single comment on my YouTube channels, on my Facebook, on my Instagram, on my TikTok, everything. I have answered every single one, and sometimes multiple if I ended up, having a heated discussion with someone who, said that I was torturing animals or something, the vegans that would show up. Sometimes certain conversations went on way longer than they should have before I just finally deleted them. So being on tour, I'm still probably 4 or 5 days behind in the comments on my channel. And I realized we just can't keep up with it anymore. There's just no way. I mean, we're over 100,000. Actually, I'm at 101,000 subscribers now, and over 100,000 subscribers, plus the Facebook, plus the Instagram, all of this kind of stuff. I just physically do not have enough hours in the day and enough mental and physical energy in my body to keep up with that and still be doing everything else we're doing to try to keep up with things too. So, to give you guys a little bit of an understanding of kind of how we're going to progress with that. I am still going to answer comments when I can, especially if they're pressing questions or, things people really need help, or, I'm trying to encourage people that it's it's my first day carnivore and I love your videos and you've given me hope. Like, I really want to try to prioritize encouraging people because that's why I started doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do the best I can to try to keep up with that. If it is a comment from a YouTube member,
mm-hmm.
it's a Patreon member, that kind of stuff, I will absolutely prioritize still getting back to those people because
mm-hmm.
that's the band, the people that support us and make sure we have the ability to make a living doing this by supporting the work that we do. That is going to be where I prioritize answering comments to make sure that they're valued for the investment that they make.
Right.
So if you're not a member, you can join the band. You can either do it on the YouTube memberships on the main Chris Cooking Nashville channel. It's $5 a month. Or you can go to my Patreon, which is in all of my links, and you can join there's several different levels. $5 and up is the official band members. That is something that I'm going to really prioritize because I want to make sure that those people know how valued that they are. For everyone else, I'm going to try to get to comments, but if you have questions, you have a recipe question, you want to know about a substitution, if that could be made, you want to know why a certain recipe didn't work, any of these kinds of things, we're going to start doing once, twice, 3 times, I don't know, however many times, we'll announce them ahead of time to let everybody know. We're going to be doing some live Q&A sessions on the main channel. And the whole purpose is I'll be sitting there, whether it's in the kitchen or whether it's up here, we'll be sitting there with the purpose of answering questions, talking about cooking, talking about food, talking about carnivore and keto ideas. If you have recipe ideas you want to ask if I've thought of, or if you want to know about a certain ingredient, or you want to suggest that we go research something, or whatever the case is, you have a problem with a recipe, you want me to diagnose maybe what went wrong with the bread and why it didn't work, like those kinds of things. That's where I'm going to do all of that. And the reason is we just cannot keep up with answering all of those. I cannot keep up with answering all of those comments and still be able to invest in all the other things for you guys that I want to. It is physically and mentally impossible for me to keep up with all of them. So we have this on Monday mornings where people are welcome to come ask those questions here too. We're going to have the Tuesday night recipe videos, which people are welcome to come to and ask me questions. And then I'm going to have some dedicated live Q&As for people to come and ask recipe questions. So as you're interacting with people, if you have questions, if you know other people have questions, if you see comments on my videos where people are asking questions, please feel free to comment and say, hey, Chris is having a hard time getting to all of his comments like he used to. Watch for his live Q&As, whether it's the Monday morning motivation, the Tuesday night recipes, or his occasional live Q&A question videos. Go to one of his live streams to ask your questions because he can prioritize getting to your answer that way. It will save me a lot of time. I honestly, we sat and we were talking about it. I think I was up to probably 10 to 12 hours a week just answering comments.
I think, that's what Chris said he thought, and just being his wife, I actually think it's more like 20.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's a lot more.
I don't keep track of it. I mean, I do it 10 to 15 minutes here and there. Sometimes I do it for an hour to 2. Sometimes there'd be days where it's like we sit down in bed at night and she puts something on the TV for us to watch, and I'll sit there for 2 hours while she watches 2 episodes or 3 episodes of a show or a movie or something. And the entire time I'm just going through social media answering comments. And it has just gotten to a point I just can't keep up with all of it anymore. So I'll try. There's a little heart thing. I can react to people real quickly without, spending 5 minutes answering comments necessarily. I'm going to do that kind of stuff, but I just can't keep up with it all and still put in all of the time to doing justice to all the videos that I'm trying to make for you guys. So for my own mental sanity and well-being, I'm just not going to be able to do that. But we're going to incorporate the live Q&A because that's a way where instead of me spending a lot of time writing out the same answers over and over and over and over and over, I can answer them off the cuff quickly, verbally, and it takes a lot less time. And I can schedule it out specifically where we can bring people in. And not only does that help the people that have questions, it's actually healthy for the channel because it's bringing more people in a different format, which just helps the channel continue to grow, which helps us get the word out to more people. So I think in this way, everybody will win, and it will make me better at answering comments and not being so far behind, to where I'm stressed out trying to catch up constantly. And it'll give me, honestly, some days the ability to have 5 minutes to myself where I can just sit back and have my mind go quiet, to where I can actually think about recipe ideas.
So, right. Well, I was going to say too, if I can,
you jump in and say whatever you want.
I think, we have so many great people in the community that literally watch every video and they tune into every live stream, and just the support is just incredible. But when Chris started a YouTube channel, we've shared the story of like he was already working multiple jobs and he wanted to start a YouTube channel literally just to share like his experience with keto and carnivore and to hopefully help and encourage other people. And I was like, well, how are you going to find the time to do that? Because you were already working multiple jobs. And so you started to do it. And for the past, I guess, year and a half, or so, 2 years, however long, exactly you've been doing YouTube, you have answered every single comment, every email that comes in your inbox. Yeah. And like, I'm, an admin on all of Chris's social media. Like I usually help run it for him. And it's like, I get notifications all day long about stuff, but like Chris goes through, he replies to every comment, not on YouTube, every email, every Facebook, every Instagram. And so, I mean, that's a full-time job in itself. Yeah. But then he's also trying to work, be a husband, enjoy his life, take a break. He's trying to continue his own health journey. He's also then trying to come up with great recipe ideas that he can share and film with you. He's trying to have the videos that he's putting out on all of the channels basically be the best that they can be. So he's trying to like edit and improve and, get better at video editing. He's also trying to come up with different things like this new channel, like the Studios channel, where he's like, man, maybe on the main channel we do cooking, but over here I can help people by giving him this. And he's trying to tour with me and be my husband and band leader, guitar player. I mean, so, Chris is a very hardworking individual and I really love and appreciate that. But I just hope that when people, when Chris basically says like, I just can't do this anymore, it's not that he doesn't enjoy getting to talk to you guys or that he wants to be rude or mean or any other thing. It's just everything has grown to the point in a very quick time where it's like by him taking the time to answer everybody's question, a lot of those questions or like replying to those comments, he's basically just repeating himself over and over. Yeah. And that is hours and hours and hours out of his day and week, where instead of doing that, he could be putting out a video that could literally have information in it that could change somebody's life. He could literally be creating a recipe that, would become your new favorite thing. And he could be, literally taking a walk with me instead of up here in a dark room editing videos where it's like, let him get out, let him grow in his health, help him to lose more weight. And I think that's just something like as his wife, it's like, I see him working so hard, and it just, please know, it's not that that he's trying to be uppity by not replying or anything like that. There's no bad intention, but literally it's to the point of, do I take a step back from this and then go put that time and effort into basically creating better quality stuff for my community, for my channel? And do I become better in my own self and like, improve my own health? Yeah. And then also though, that's why we thought maybe instead of doing, like a bunch of videos or whatever, but it's like, well, hey, now let's give those people a chance to ask those questions. And that's where those like live stream Q&A come in, because Chris doesn't have to edit those. We can just casually sit here, ask your questions. Yeah. And it's like, we can just have a great time and still be able to help people. But I just want to make sure people understand, like, it's really hard for Chris to say, I can't keep up with this anymore. And I have watched him for like, like I said, since the start, work multiple jobs and work his butt off day in and day out. And so when he's saying like, I just can't do this anymore, it's nothing personal. We just want to try to help as many people as we can. Yeah. And there's only so many hours in a day. So we're just trying to be smart and intentional with where we put that time. Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, it is so exhausting to try to keep up with all the comments. And especially because all of the comments, I would answer things like, hey, this bread loaf fell. Why? And I would answer it. And then 2 days later, I'd answer the same question. And 3 days later, I'd answer the same question. And a week later, I'd answer the same question. And it's like, I mean, it's over and over and over and over and over and over and over with what is essentially the same issue. And that's, nothing against those people asking those questions. They're just trying to get their answer. But it's also like, if I answer it in a live stream, I can very quickly go through in more detail exactly how to do it. Then they can rewind and watch that over and over if they need to. And then every other person who watches that live stream who may have had that same question gets the same answer. And so it makes it so much better, I think, for the people who have questions to get their questions answered. And it makes it a lot easier for me to get the information out there.
Yeah. So. Well, and also too, I know sometimes, people may not understand. They may be like, hey, Chris, this recipe didn't work. And sometimes you may have questions like, well, did you do this? Did you do that?
Right.
So if it's a live stream where we can just read your comments and go through, I think it would actually, in the long run, be more efficient for you guys when you have a question.
Yes.
I mean, it just makes the most sense, I think, for everybody. It takes stress and pressure off of everybody. And I think it allows everyone watching the channel to have a better experience for sure.
Absolutely. Let's see. We got some comments going on here. Yeah. Jujubee says, scandalous. What? You mean you're human? What? Mind blown.
Oh, yep. Controversy.
Yep, I sure enough am. Addicted to Antlers says, that's too stressful to try to keep up with all the comments. You're not kidding.
It's a full-time job.
I've been doing it for a year and a half, and believe me, it has been, honestly, it has gotten so big. I never expected my channel to be where it is. When we started this, it was never something I thought was even going to happen. So I was not prepared for just the volume of comments that I have been responding to. So, 22QCat says, you've always been the best about answering comments and very quickly. Love it. But I know you don't have time, and that's okay. Not expected. We still love you. Well, we love you guys, and I appreciate that very much. And I'm still going to try to answer as many as I can, but it's just, the guarantee of I will respond to your comment because I get to every single one of them. Is just not a reality anymore. I just can't guarantee it.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to tell people that I will and then make them wait for 3 weeks while I'm trying to catch up. That's just not That's not polite for them to have the expectation that I will and then not be able to. So Jujubee, we'll check this out. Says, Ash, one of your Ash Wednesdays, you have someone tagging me with a sale shop for merch. I'm pretty sure isn't yours.
No.
Yes. If someone is tagging you guys in something saying that there's merch for sale and it's not Ash or I, first of all, we're not going to tag you and try to sell you stuff.
Right.
Second of all, if it's something that is being posted about anything to do with either one of us on any of our pages and it's not her or me doing it, it is not real because there is no one right now involved in our social media but the two of us.
Also, if you're on any of my social media, I have a blue check mark next to my name. Don't do that. Yep. On Chris's YouTube channel, the main one. Yeah.
Speaking. So we crossed 100,000 subscribers. And I have gotten the notification from YouTube with the redemption code for my YouTube silver play button. So that has been ordered and that is on the way. And we'll see how long that takes to get here. And then also I went in and I applied for verification and they verified my Chris Cooking Nashville main YouTube channel. So you will see a little check mark. Depending on whether you're on mobile or not, you may or may not see it on mobile because they're still updating their mobile app to also show that in certain places. But on some parts of the mobile app and on a computer and anywhere else, you will see a check mark next to the Chris Cooking Nashville name. So if you see a Chris Cooking Nashville anything other than this studio's channel, if you see a Chris Cooking Nashville looking anything that does not have that little check mark next to it, it's not me.
Yep.
So
move on.
Yep. Just move on. Report it as something that's not true. So the only two things I have are this studio's channel and the main Chris Cooking Nashville, which has the check mark.
Yep.
That's it. And if on social media, if it's not from me or Ash,
don't do it.
It is not real. It is not real. And just let us know. So Addicted to Antlers says, we understand you have to balance your time. Yeah, it's becoming very apparent, especially while we were on tour.
Yeah.
I was like trying to do everything, keeping up with her, because it is the other thing. When I'm on tour with Ash Taylor, I am not Chris Cooking Nashville. When I am on tour with Ash Taylor, I am Chris, the lead guitar player, band leader, manager.
Mm-hmm.
And my YouTube channel is not what I'm thinking about or focusing on, or, I would do a little bit here and there, and I would just kind of, as we had some free time in between things while she was meeting people or, whatever.
What he
if
means
I'm sitting
is
there.
If I went to go use the restroom,
right,
he'd take for, 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, for 4 or 5 minutes, I'd sit there and try to do what I could. So, when I'm on tour, I'm just not Chris Cooking Nashville. That's, it's all about the Ash Taylor thing and me supporting what she's doing in that moment. And I just don't have time to be constantly doing all the YouTube stuff while we're on tour. So it became very apparent that I just need to be able to step back away from that so that when I am involved in it, I'm doing it right.
Right.
And that when I'm not involved in it, I can go be doing what I need with her, and I'm doing that right as well. So, and that's going to be a thing for the next 6 months while we're on tour and long after that. So, Mrs. Newton's Big Family Big Noise is here. Says, hi, guys. Sounds like my husband. He's a super hard worker as well. Sounds like he's a good guy. You're one person. Yes, I definitely am. Although I'm loud enough for two sometimes. I enjoy the live streams all the time. We enjoy you being here. So happy you joined the group on Facebook, which made me find you. You're the best. Yeah, I don't join many Facebook groups, but I have a couple of them that I'm part of that are nice. So I'm glad that you found me there. Happy birthday to Mama, by the way. Yes, my mom is probably 30 years old today. I don't know.
Like 30.
Yeah, something
29.
Like 29, 30. I don't know. I don't know how many times she's turned 30, but she's turning 30 again today. So today's my mom's birthday. So if you guys go to the Chris Cooking Nashville Facebook page, you will see that there's a happy birthday on there. If you want to go wish her a happy birthday, I'm sure she'd love to see that. So we did get to spend a day and a half or so with her celebrating her birthday before we drove back to Nashville. I'd love to have been there for a few more days with them, but we had to get back. We have stuff that has to be done because then we go right back out on tour. So, but she is a wonderful woman, and we're celebrating. Jujubee says, I send you a screenshot later to find it easier. That'd be great. Yeah. Right. We'll go find that. We'll report that as a scam and we'll block it and delete it. So
all these people trying to get money.
I'm telling you what.
Yeah.
Mrs. Newton's Big Family Big Noise says, congratulations. That's amazing. Well, thank you very much. And Vicky says, so happy for both of you.
Well, thank you, Vicky. We love you.
And Lynn says, I saw the post. Happy birthday to your mom. Aww. Yeah, she's a lovely lady.
Yeah.
Cindy says, hello, caught you live before ending. Yeah, glad you jumped in here for a minute. So go back and watch it from the beginning now. So and Jujubee says, I got your 6. Well, I appreciate that. We value you guys being there and just helping us watch out for things, because this is the other thing. I can't even keep up with the comments, let alone know every single scam in the entire world that may or may not try to use one or both of our social medias to get to you guys. Like, we try to keep up with it.
Yeah.
But there's a reason that people that are really successful have teams of people that run their social media for them. We're very rare in the fact that we're doing it ourselves.
Well, and we've had even people try to do like those kind of scam things where they tag you and they're like, what about this? And what, stuff like that. But, I think also it's a compliment, because I think, as you grow your channel and businesses and whatnot, like, people unfortunately try to prey upon your success, and they try to serve it, or if you have a question, try to, just let us know. But
also, for any of you guys, if you ever see any of that kind of stuff anywhere, if there is a link,
don't hit it.
Do not click those links. Do not believe any of that stuff. If it is not from ashtaylor.com or chriscookingnashville.com, if it's not on one of those two websites, it is probably not anything to do with us. If it was like some special thing, we will make sure to tell you, hey, this is a link
like
to such and such, like a live stream. Or it'll be a post where I'm the one linking it. Like, I'm not going to let some random person just take a link of something and say, oh, you should all go there. I'm not going to do any of that. And neither is Ash. So if it comes directly from her, it comes directly from me, and it is linked to our websites, it's a legitimate thing, and we'll tell you why it's a specific link. If it's anything else, even if it kind of looks like maybe it comes from us, but it doesn't seem like on the level, don't click that. Just tell us about it.
The other thing too, if I may, we have a YouTube channel, or like with music and stuff, where we literally just put stuff out for free all the time.
Right.
And then we always just leave the option, if you would like to support us, you can.
Yeah.
But even that is, we talk about that. So it's like, if we're out here doing stuff for free, I'm not going to take the time to tag you and 20 things and tell you need to go buy a Chris Cooking Nashville merch shirt. So it's like, we're not here for your money. We're here to help you. And so
we're here to help you. We have a Patreon. Both of us actually have Patreon. I don't know if you guys realize, but Ash has Patreon as well.
I do, yes.
You can join her group, the Bad Ashes.
Yep.
And so, if you want to support what Ash does musically, you can go there and join. If you want to support what I do with the cooking stuff and what we do here on the Chris Cooking Nashville thing, you can join my YouTube memberships or my Patreon. On our websites, we have stores where you can go and you can buy merch directly through our website.
Yeah.
So if you want a t-shirt that says Ash Taylor, you want a t-shirt that says Chris Cooking Nashville, or any of the other, number of things we have there, you can go there and get all that stuff. As far as like affiliate links and all that kind of stuff, my Amazon links and all of the, the products that I've tested and things, all those affiliate links, I put those links in the description box of those YouTube videos. And I do not send them directly to you or tag you in anything, because it's like, that's up to you. If you want to go use that stuff and you want to support us that way, you can totally do that. I'm not going to try to tag you guys in stuff and sell you things and all that other kind of junk. But we don't do that crap. We're not scammy and, in this for money and, whatever. We try to make a living so we don't end up on the streets, but that's about as far as the money goes.
Yeah.
So if you guys see that kind of stuff, don't ever believe any of that. And if you're questioning it and you think it might be us, but you're not sure, send us a message.
Yeah.
Take a screenshot, send it to us and say, hey, is this you? Because absolutely not. Thank you for letting me know. And I'm going to go and I'm going to block it and delete it. We are always happy to. Now, those kinds of comments, I will prioritize trying to answer when I see them, because I want to make sure that you guys are never taken advantage of by someone who is scamming anything. And I certainly don't want my reputation to be attached to someone who's doing scammy stuff. So we'll always make sure. So
yeah.
Let's see. Cindy says, happy birthday to your mom, and
Thank
my
you.
store is on my website too. Yeah,
Great.
that's the way to do it. It is the way to do it. Like you just stay away from all of the scammy stuff of, hey, click this link and you'll get 25% off at this random thing that has nothing to do with Chris Cooking Nashville's website.
Yeah.
No. So,
Nothing.
okay. Well, I think we're all caught up on the comments. I think we are over time, but I think that was some important stuff to talk about. So tomorrow we have the Tuesday night live stream coming. We're doing stuffed burger patties, and they're going to be great. We just did the video Saturday of the ultimate way to cook a burger. We sort of thought was the best way to do it. And we have a couple of different options. So the air fryer was one of our top choices. Wasn't number one, but it was number two.
Number two.
So we're going to use the air fryer, and we're going to do some stuffed burger patties. I'm going to show you guys how I do that. That's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. We have a special surprise video coming out later today on the main cooking channel on Chris Cooking Nashville. A very fun recipe.
Yeah. Very
fun recipe, and a really cool little product that goes along with it. So it's not about the product, but the product is cool. The recipe is amazing.
Yeah.
Make sure to check that out. If you haven't yet, hit the thumbs up, hit the share button. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, if you're seeing it, make sure to do so. That subscribe button will light up for you. Huge celebration of the fact really sooner than later. We got the check mark next to the Chris Cooking Nashville main channel to verify it. So it's been by YouTube, and that just has extra protection for you guys as well, that you always know that it's me. So
yeah.
Anyway, everything is good, and we're back, and we're doing our thing, and then we're getting ready for the next leg of tour. So if you guys have questions, let us know. We'll try to get to them as best we can, but keep an eye out for the announcements of when we start doing those live Q&As. That's going to be really, really good. Also, I'm just going to tell you guys, we have our very first interview on this channel that I'm going to confirm and figure the last bit of scheduling details out, hopefully today before the end of the day. I'll shoot that email off. I don't think she'll mind me saying it is going to be Anita from Ketogenic Woman.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very fitting, because I was the first interview on her channel when she started doing interviews. Since I started this channel and I want to start doing interviews, I thought it was only fitting that she should be on this as the very first interviewee. And I think it would be a fantastic interview. I'll be giving you more information about that. Cindy wants to know, when did tickets go on sale for Wrestle Springs?
Oh, Cindy, there's no tickets for that show. It's actually free to the public.
Great.
So bring the friends and the family and come on out. But there's that show. There's no tickets, so it's just free to the public, and so no cost. Come on down.
Perfect. No cost for that show, and if you got a little bit of money to support the venue we're playing at by buying something, food, drink, whatever it is they have there,
and we'll have like merch cool. And different like Ash Taylor merch and stuff for for sale. So but yeah, no need to spend money.
Yeah.
We're not trying to take your money, but we're looking forward to seeing y'all.
That's right.
There you go.
Mrs. Newton's Big Family, Big Noise says, OMG, I cannot wait for that interview.
It's gonna be great.
I can't wait either. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll be announcing that. We'll tell you about that. That's going to be really great. And she is going to be the first of hopefully very many. I owe a lot to Anita from Ketogenic Woman. She is a lovely lady. And she was the first one that took interest in what I was doing. And she helped me get my YouTube channel kicked off, not just having, 50 people watch with her. And I'm going to try to make my interviews different than any interview you guys have ever seen in the space. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So stick around for that. We've got really cool stuff. I've linked Ash's channel down below, Ash Taylor Country. I've linked that in the description for you. She has a music video that is out. We'll be putting some content from behind the scenes things with Sweetwater in the future, and there will be some more work coming from that whole thing, and there'll be a lot of stuff going on, and there's there's shows and all that kind of stuff. So go over, check out her channel, subscribe if you haven't, just support the work she's doing because it's really cool. And it's a lot of fun, and I'm very blessed that I get to be involved in what she's doing. So I've linked that down below for you guys. All my other links are down below as well if you want to support the channel, support what we're doing. And we just love and appreciate every single one of you comments, but that we'll be doing those live Q&As. Appreciate you guys and just the fact that we love all of you. So thank you so much for being here. And we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you are motivated and that your week is off to a good start.
Yes.
So thank you guys for being here. We love you all. This is Chris Cooking Nashville, my beautiful wife, Ash Taylor. You guys, make sure to eat your meat, love your life, stay motivated, and we'll see you guys very soon for a whole bunch more recipes and motivation.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.